This is one of those movies that just pops up on streaming and I've never even heard about it. But it looked interesting and had a decent cast, so I watched it. And it's about this girl living in Soviet-occupied Lithuania in the early 40s. And for no reason in particular, she and her mom are rounded up and sent to a labor camp in lovely Siberia. And well, the official reason is treason, but they definitely haven't done anything. But this was just something that happened a lot back then, during the Soviet regime. They also had some interesting ways of getting signed confessions out of people, which is something this movie does show, and yeah, it's pretty messed up. They could basically do whatever they wanted to. Oh, and when I say the movie's about a girl, I mean a young woman, because she's supposed to be 16. But the actress doesn't look 16, and turns out she was actually 25 or 26 when this was shot. So yeah, not amazing casting there. She's also not the greatest actor I've ever seen. She's just very one note, almost never do you see her reach even a little bit. And considering her circumstances, that's pretty weird. So that's problem number one with this movie, the second being her character. It's a pretty uninteresting and boring character, and she doesn't really do much. And nothing she does really affects anything, until the very end. Her arc is also kinda flat and didn't really do much for me. Oh yeah, she also draws, another thing that doesn't really make a difference. Again, until the very end, and even then it's questionable how much it really mattered. And this is supposed to be the main character, the one we care about and root for. Well, I really didn't, and if she'd been the highlight of the movie, I wouldn't have liked it at all. Thankfully she's not. The highlight is definitely Martin Wallström, who you might recognize from Mr. Robot, but here he plays a young Soviet soldier. Now his performance is great, and his character is a lot more interesting than the girl. And his arc is actually compelling too. You wanna know what's gonna happen to him. So he sorta steals the show here and made the movie worth it for me. And if he hadn't, I wouldn't have very many good things to say about it. Because as I said, the main story here with the girl is just not that great. And the actual events of the movie, the things that happen on screen, most of that is just people going about their daily miserable lives, trying to survive and make the best of it, with varying degrees of success. And for the most part, it's nothing we haven't seen before in movies like this. That being said, the woman who plays the mom is actually pretty good too. But there's just not that much to her character, and the script doesn't really give her much to do. And then we have the Soviet officer, played by Franzén. He's also good, appropriately intense and creepy, but again, there's not that much to his character. There's really no arc or anything for him, but he's still pretty good. Now if we look at the overall story here, it's just sort of fine, nothing all that great. And to be honest, for most of the movie I was teetering on the edge of boredom. But then about 30 minutes from the end it took an interesting turn. And I have to say I really enjoyed that last half hour. But again, mostly because of Martin Wallström's character and performance. Now from a technical perspective, the movie is a bit of a mixed bag. The writing's just sorta okay, not that great, but the movie looks pretty good and is competently shot. The score though? I actually don't remember a score, and there's nothing about it in my notes either. I assume there was one, but I can't remember it at all, which probably isn't good. And as a whole, this movie ended up being just sort of fine, definitely nothing special. But would I recommend it? Not really. There are just so many good World War II movies out there. So probably skip this one, but remember, in Soviet Russia, movie skips you. But I'm also not your dad.